Hello and welcome back to Aries Tarot. How are you doing? Thank you for being here. Today is going to be a general tarot love reading for my Aries. This is for Aries and Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus. It is a general reading. It's not a personal one. So as always, please do take what does resonate for you. Anything I say that doesn't resonate, leave it for somebody else. This is also a timeless message. It's for whenever you come across it. Anything I'm saying in the reading, if it resonates for you with the roles reversed, go ahead and reverse those roles. That's absolutely fine. Alright, so Aries, I'm going to see what is coming towards you next in love and any other messages that want to come out for you today. If you're new to the channel, then huge welcome and thank you for trying me out. And if you're a returning subscriber, then welcome back. Thank you for all the amazing support. It really means the world. Alright, for my Aries. What messages have we got for my Aries? Thank you. Okay. 3 came out at once. We have camera, reminiscing, making memories, learning from the past, not enough, lacking confidence, self-sabotage, ego and fear and frustrations, and then abundance, positive mindset, manifest, gratitude and bliss and blessings. And the bottom of the deck is healing heart. It feels straight away, I would say that... Sorry, I just kicked something under my table. Either yourself, Aries, or someone else here is thinking back about moments that happened in a previous relationship that may have been toxic in some way. It was some sort of relationship where someone, they were made to feel like they weren't good enough, or they were a letdown, effectively. So... it's kind of thinking back on moments which could have previously been like, oh, I was having such a good day with my ex, you know. We had such a lovely time, and then actually kind of re-looking back at it, like reviewing the past again and being like, well, actually, that was the day that they told me that I didn't look good enough, that I was being annoying, that I wasn't being funny enough, that, you know, just constant criticism, but... something that someone may have internalized and not necessarily acknowledged until there's actually some healing going on here from learning from that past and maybe understanding where they had this perception of themselves as being in lack, as not being good enough. But then, because with this abundance card, this is someone who actually has a lot to give. There's a lot going for someone with this abundance energy. You know, there's a lot for them to be grateful for. There's a lot for other people to be grateful to have this person in their life. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. Let me change decks because 3 cards came out immediately. So let's see. Tell me more for Aries, please. What messages? We have running, ghosting, disappearing, invisible. Tell me more. Thinking, missing you, craving, desiring. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck is heart fog, blocked emotions. Someone may have done a disappearing act, Aries, and it might be, and then I sense this strong message of rethinking, like, why am I running from this, for example. This could be even quite recent, or like their plan was to do a disappearing act, but they're kind of stopping mid-run is what I'm getting, and thinking, wait, where am I doing this? I don't normally get that from the running card, but let me see. Anything else for Aries, please? We've got karma, consequences, cause and effect. Tell me about karma. Why karma? Second chance. Reconciliation, making amends, opportunity, and then only you is at the bottom of the deck. Devoted, attached, and crave. Someone may have run, but they're basically, you know, or distanced themselves or detached or walked away effectively. I mean, running, it always feels a bit condescending when I say someone's run, because it kind of gives that element of cowardice, but it could just be that they thought in the moment that this was what was best, to distance themselves, to not pursue something. But basically, this is someone rethinking, reviewing, especially how the past has impacted their instinct now to fear intimacy. They do feel like some element of responsibility, and also like the counterbalance of the effect on them from, you know, someone distancing themselves because they don't want to get emotionally hurt, or to experience that feeling again of not living up to someone's expectations. But then they're feeling the weight of the choice to distance themselves, of then that there is actually some importance to the connection that they have distanced from. I hope that makes sense. Tell me more about the thinking card. Breaking points. But then at the bottom of the deck is realizations, epiphanies, understandings, awakenings. So this feels like a climax for this moment, for this person. That this may have been how they handled things repeatedly. You know, like a repeating cycle. But it's almost like this one that they distanced themselves from this time, there was actually some importance to it. So let's get into the tarot, shall we, Aries? Okay. Tell me how Aries is feeling about the person who's coming through here in this reading. How is Aries feeling about them? This could have been someone this could have been in the past. I still get more of like a recent energy though, because it feels conflicted. It almost feels like this person is more than enough with that abundance energy, but the past is still impacting them and telling, like, they're split between, you know, sure that they do have a lot to offer, but at the same time it's a conflict of reconciling that confidence with they didn't measure up to someone in the past. Very conflicted. It is also saying though that if this is something relatively fresh, I don't feel like they're going to run very far. I don't think they're going to get very far before they kind of feel the weight of that choice and then kind of want to pick the situation up again. So Aries, you might be feeling distraught, potentially, that this person isn't as interested in you as you are in them. Or certainly you might be feeling rejected by their behaviour. So let's get some more though. How is Aries feeling about the person who's coming through here? How is Aries feeling? Thank you. We have the Six of Swords. At the bottom of the deck is the Star card. So it's Aquarius' major arcana. That is optimism. It's seeing that there is a way forward. It's almost like you're saying that you can, if there are issues, that you guys can work it out. You can find a solution together. Tell me more. The Moon in reverse. The Queen of Pentacles, that's Earth energy, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Okay. So the Two of Wands is at the bottom of the deck when the Queen of Pentacles came out, and that is talking about making a very confident choice, a decision. But then underneath it is the Three of Swords and the Five of Wands. This feels like making a choice that's going to upset somebody else. Let's see. Why is the Moon in reverse, please, for how Aries is feeling? The Four of Pentacles. Princess of Swords in reverse. Ooh, it's going to rock the boat. Okay, so it's kind of saying that making the choice to progress things between the two of you, which does seem possible, even if there are obstacles or kind of things that need to be, like, issues you need to find a solution for, or things, potential compromises, or like, well, this is the problem, okay, well, let's problem solve it together, that kind of thing. That being said, it feels like you're saying that this coming out is going to rock the comfort zone that someone was staying in. So the Four of Pentacles is comfortable, especially in this deck. It's someone who feels secure because they're living off of a constant steady stream of energy from their efforts in the past that are still kind of paying off for them, but it's in a slow and steady, small and incremental. It's there, it's constant. It's something to rely on. However, it's sitting back in the Four of Pentacles, and it's not trying to actually go further and get to, say, the Ten of Pentacles, the be all and end all. It's kind of just being in a comfort zone. So this is this could be that you're also saying, Aries, that if there are issues with a choice about the two of you getting closer, if there are issues that come up with that coming out, then you're willing, to find solutions to those issues. Tell me more of how Aries is feeling, please. Four of Wands, wow. And then the Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck. That's 444. Seems to be strongly about a foundational energy, like laying the foundation. The Four of Swords talks about, taking a time out to think. There might be, have been a quiet time between the two of you of introspection and kind of soul searching, because this decision seems to be quite heavy. It's basically, Aries, you're saying that you know that you want to have something with this person, but you've kind of been quiet about sending that first message to really solidify something or to take something further. Why the Princess of Swords in reverse? Seven of Cups. And see, it's the uncertainty, the confusion. Because the Princess of Swords in the upright would know the information. She would have her facts sorted. The news that she'd received, or the kind of the advice that she'd received, I just got, would be solid and completely reliable. This is, at the upright, this is someone who's very confident in their facts about the situation. But this in reverse, why the confusion? Okay, so for some of you, I'm getting that, Aries, you may have been told things about this person and you're not sure if you believe that. You do want to choose them, if you like, and move this forward. It feels like there's a solid foundation or basis for things to progress forward. But there is information that you feel like you've received which you don't feel adds up to the reality. This could be someone trying to change your mind about the potential of this moving forward with this person. Yeah, see, that's... So the High Priestess came out on top of the Queen of Pentacles. Now, whether you're male or female, this Queen of Pentacles could be a man in real life, but it's effectively is someone who is very nurturing, like potentially long-term commitment material, very abundant. Yes, It's interesting because I'm just thinking about this Abundance Oracle card. This feels like projection. Someone's saying that this Queen of Pentacles is not enough. But this could be the need, Aries, to trust your gut, because the High Priestess talks about being very in tune with your intuition. If you know that this person is potentially, could be someone very serious for you, it's about that versus this, which could be gossip. The Princess of Swords in reverse, it's basically things that someone is telling you about this person and you're not really sure, it's not really helping. It's not necessarily something that you feel that you can trust. Like, they're kind of saying that they have the inside information on this Queen of Pentacles, which, or, you know, they know them better than you do, or they know their type, that kind of thing. And that is confusing you, but your gut is telling you that there is someone potentially solid. Okay. All right, let's get into them. How is this person feeling about Aries, please? How is this person feeling about Aries? King of Swords. It's air energy, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Oh, okay. So the Death card came out with the Two of Swords. That's Scorpio's major arcana, the Death card. But that is... this is almost giving me a little bit of ultimatum energy, Aries. This feels like someone's standing their ground, quite determined, not a pushover, and basically saying, like, either make a choice or don't. It's a little... I need to move that. I'm sorry, I keep kicking it if you can hear the noise. It's a little bit of ultimatum energy, because basically this King of Swords standing on business, standing on what they believe in, and, you know, it's either... There's no sitting in this indecision. This King of Swords is not going to accept that. It's either we're doing this, things are changing, or they're not. This Two of Swords person is stuck between a rock and a hard place, they feel like, in terms of they don't feel like they can make a choice because one way or another someone's not going to be happy with them. But I was getting that from you. It's like you're confidently knowing that you want something with this person, but you're almost second guessing that because you feel like other people are going to be angry or upset about you making that choice. But this person is coming through as like, well, you choose me or you don't. Okay. Tell me more about how this person's feeling about Aries. Six of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I have to say, like, Aries, this person is giving me... let me ask about their interest in you a second, but at the moment it's basically, if you don't want to choose them, that's okay. They're fine. They're coming through very single and independent and strong-willed. And with this Nine of Pentacles energy, this is someone who doesn't necessarily, like, they're not going to sacrifice their moral compass, if you like, for the sake of hanging around to see if someone else will choose them. So this is basically, this person is absolutely fine on their own. So with the Six of Swords, it's basically, you know, it's a choice to change, or they'll go on their merry way. Let's see. Tell me about their feelings towards Aries, please. Tell me about this person's feelings. Okay, King of Wands. That is fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sag. This person, they're very attracted to you. They are mirroring back your strength of will. So they feel like you're quite strong-willed yourself. So I get in the sense that they're mirroring that back to you. They are reflecting back how you would handle this situation. Underneath, but at the bottom of the deck, is the Moon, and underneath it is the Two of Wands and the Page of Cups. This is someone who's, you know, they are puffing themselves up a little bit to basically be very, come across very self-confident and self-assured. But underneath it all, is a little bit of fear and a little bit of apprehension, I would say, that, you know, what they want, this, well, can I even say that? They're not 100% sure if they want you to actually do this. Because they know it's got legs. Oh, wow. Okay. This is like, this person wants you, but they are putting it completely in your corner as to making a choice about whether this moves forward or not, because they have a little bit coming through of be careful what you wish for, maybe from their previous experiences as well, because there's a little bit of uncertainty here of, is this really what I want? Maybe it's just too early for this person to know for sure. But I say this because underneath the moon, the Two of Wands and the Page of Cups, that's like the choice to show that initial interest, to actually, you know, show someone vulnerability, which with this person coming through as both King of Wands and King of Swords, that's very head and a little bit of bravado and strength. It's kind of, you know, hard as nails, a little bit puffed up and a little bit, you know, wearing their armor. It is going out with their war paint on, effectively, one way or another. It's not the softer or more tactile side of someone. They've gone a little bit into their protective shell here, and it's because underneath the Page of Cups we have the Hierophant, the Knight of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. So when I said that they're leaving it up to you and kind of being a little bit like, well, if you don't want it, it's fine, because they kind of know that this has the potential to have legs, to progress from, you know, the initial to feelings developing. So, and with the Hierophant and the Ten of Pentacles, though, that both cards talk about, it's Taurus Major Arcana, by the way, both cards talk about long-term commitment, progressing into potentially marriage, into potentially family, and the Page progressing to the Knight of Cups as well. It's like this person knows that they could easily fall in love with you, Aries, and that this could be the significant next relationship for you both. But basically they're being very I don't know how to, I hope this makes sense of how I'm explaining it, but they're being a little bit protective of themselves, a little bit standoffish, but basically leaving it up to you, like it's your call, with that Two of Swords and the Death card. If you want to make a choice and we do this, okay. But if you don't make a choice about doing this, then I'm gone. Six of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, I'll carry on being single. I think there's a little bit of fear with this person of that they could be getting into something serious. I don't get the sense this person is anti-commitment or anything like that, but yeah, I hope that makes sense. All right, let's get some more. What else do you want to tell me about this situation, this reading for Aries, please? Actually, I love this deck. Let's use this one. What messages do you have from this person towards Aries, please? What messages do you have? Now, with the start with the Oracle cards, when I was talking about someone, there's that vulnerability there of maybe they have been heavily criticized by partners in the past. So that could be why they're coming a little bit puffed up now, because they don't want to open themselves up to kind of being broken down again. But in terms of who is kind of distancing themselves and then thinking about that person that they distance themselves from, that could be either of you. So just apply it as it resonates. Give me a message for Aries, please. Thank you. Reveal came out in reverse. This would say I want to tell you the truth, but it's in reverse. And then new chapter is at the bottom of the deck. This would say I'm trying to move on. I just got that someone doesn't want to tell somebody else that they want to move on and have a new chapter. I don't think this is necessarily the two of you lying to each other, because I keep getting this thing about someone else is going to be upset if this choice is made to move this forward. Tell me more, please. Well, the new chapter card came out, and at the bottom of the deck is overwhelmed. Irreplaceable came out. At the bottom of the deck is the runner card. It says I don't want to run anymore. See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I said from the start with that running card, and I said that this feels like a repeating pattern, but this time it's kind of reached a final straw. It's the final time that this person tries to run from someone, because this time whoever's not the runner, they are actually quite significant. But someone has been avoiding connection, and it could be because they didn't want to tell someone else that they were moving on and having something new. But basically, whoever they've come across this time feels quite rare, and not like someone they're going to come across every weekend or something. Anything else? Why is reveal in reverse? Oh. Space came out in reverse, which would say I need more time to think. Oh, someone doesn't need any more time to think. I think that's you, Aries. Obviously, if the whole reading is flipped, please go ahead and flip it. But you were telling me that you're quite confident about the choice that you want to make to move this forward. Why is space in the... Thank you. Yep, see, now the runner card came out. At the bottom of the deck is reciprocity. I want to have equal give and take. There's no need for more space. And someone's like, no, I actually don't want to run from this. I feel like they've probably done that with other potential things that started, like, and sometimes, although running, obviously, it's not always the nicest way to deal with feeling like you're not connecting with someone, because it's hurtful to that person to just be like, where did they go? They went MIA. But it's also, I think sometimes it can be too simplified as just, a runner, because they always run. It's also, it can just be your instinct telling you, no, this isn't the one. I'm going to distance myself from them. It's just it's not necessarily the most mature way of dealing with it, not telling that person, oh, I'm sorry, I just don't see anything, I don't see this progressing, just doing a disappearing act. I'm getting off track. But basically, this person, this is coming through as the Aries, as I said, flip it, it's the other way around, is basically like, I don't need space from the person who's come through here. I don't need space, I don't need to distance myself. I actually want this with them, quite confidently wanting this, but why is reveal in reverse? What is this, the lack of revealing something? Unexpected outcome. Things didn't go the way I planned. Hold on. Oh. Okay. Before I get into what cards just came out, with the unexpected outcome, I think there was someone else involved in this picture, if you like, Aries, that didn't think, or they were quite confident that, say you, for example, Aries, were never actually going to move on and have a new beginning, or find someone that you wouldn't, push away, find someone that you would actually want to start something with seriously. So there is like a hesitance from the Aries to be loud about the fact that they actually do want to do this. And it feels like because someone, maybe even it's like if it's a social circle or something, that there was always this expectation that you would be with someone else or something. So this is kind of a gonna, as I think I said from the tarot, this is going to shake things up. This is going to shock people. And then the cards that came up, came out from this deck. We have tiptoeing, ghost, and skirt came out. Ghost says no closure, cowardice, disappearing act. Skirt says quick getaway, the runner escaping. Tiptoeing says avoiding getting caught, acting shady, sneaking around. All that kind of go together. And then the other card that came out from this deck is fed up, over it, frustrated. Whoever's, and then the bottom of the deck is wine and dine, courtship, consistently dating, romance and passion. So someone's over. This is like someone who is dating technically, but it's always like a first date, or it's always like 2 dates, and then they, as I said, with this runner energy that's come through 3 times now. But as I said, it's not it's not a lovely way to deal with this, from not being interested in someone for the other person by just doing a disappearing act. And then this card comes out, the ghost. Ghosting is a horrible way of treating the other person. Even if it's easier, it's just like, unfortunately, it's just, I don't know, I won't get into it and start ranting about modern society. But effectively, someone is fed up of actually doing this, but it's almost like they would, an element of why they were doing this with the tiptoeing is because they didn't want, it's like they were living in such a way as to not upset someone else from finding out that they were actually trying to meet someone new. So there's a lot of like, yes, a lot of not great behaviour that's been going on here. I would say this is from the Aries, and obviously, as I said, reverse it if it's you're coming through as the other person and you're an Aries. But you'll know if this is you, this is what you've been doing. But I keep getting it's because you didn't want someone else to know that you were looking to start something new with someone else, because they would be hurt, because there was maybe an expectation that the two of you would get back together. But this is like frustration. This is the breaking point of had enough of that. Is their that's been their modus operandi of how they've been dealing with other people. And I feel like they've come across someone, the Aries has come across someone that they actually want to progress things with. So before we finish, what is most likely going to be happening between the Aries and the person who's coming through in this reading, please, going forward? 6 of Wands comes out and the 10 of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Tell me more. 8 of Swords in reverse and the Chariot upright. I love to see that. The Chariot is Cancer's major arcana. This is any overthinking that either Aries is doing or other people are kind of trying to cloud the very strong decision that Aries knows about themselves, that they want something. But there's people potentially trying to cloud that judgment. It's actually getting out of the overthinking. And maybe there is an element of overthinking of like, I'm not going to live my life the way I want to for the sake of not upsetting someone else. That is a little bit of like self-limiting, tying yourself up and feeling like you're tied and bound to someone else's emotional reaction. Like, people are going to be pissed no matter what you do in your life, whether they'll always find something to be upset about. Someone, if that's their character, they're always going to be upset about something. So I love to see that, because this is forward movement, it's momentum, it's progress, it's actually charging forward very confidently. Well, I just split the deck and the Judgment card is there. It's go time. This feels like reaching a climax here as well. Tell me more. What's going to be happening between Aries and this person who's come through in this reading? The Ace of Cups. Page of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. Tell me more. There might be an apology for not... not saying sooner how interested they were. That's kind of what I'm getting. Tell me more. I feel like this is potentially the Aries standing up for themselves as well, because effectively the cards that just came out, we have the Knight of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Tower, and the Two of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Wands. To summarize, this is someone whose their feelings are growing. As I said, we just saw the Page of Cups, again progressing to the Knight of Cups. It's the second time we've seen that progression. But it's like feelings are growing which cannot be helped. That is not something that can actually be controlled. But there's been this, oh, should I, shouldn't I? And that's the tiptoeing energy again with that Seven of Swords. It's the same sneaking around, and it's someone was behaving like that and felt like they needed to constantly like be doing a disappearing act from anyone that they might start dating because of the fallout that was going to occur. So it's kind of like trying to balance, is it worth it? You know, maybe in the past when they met people, they dated a couple, like had a couple of dates, it was never seemed worth it to the fallout that was going to occur to actually stand up for that connection. So it's kind of like someone who picks their battles, I'm getting. And in the past, they met a few people, they had a few dates, and they were like, you're not, sounds so harsh, but it's like, you're not worth the hassle, you're not worth the grief that I'm going to experience from actually trying to make something happen here. But this time, with the Seven of Wands, that's a very, someone, again, standing their ground, standing up for the victory that they feel like they can have here. And it's a victory for their heart. It's also a victory for their own life. Anything else? What's going to be happening between Aries and this person, please? The Page of Cups came out, so I smiled because it was like, there he is again, Page of Cups. And then the King of Cups came out on top of the Knight of Cups. Talk about progression. This is also, with the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, this could be, as I said, a slight apology. I don't think a massive one is really needed here. It's just, I feel like the other person in this reading got very like, I'll leave it in you, it's up to you, Aries. You want this or you don't want this. Because they felt like there was potential for their feelings to grow. So this feels more like I'm sorry, I should have said earlier that I'm actually starting to fall for you, or I'm really interested. It's actually speaking the truth about their feelings one way or another. It could also be explaining, a little bit of explanation as to why their first instinct was to steer clear of the intimacy deepening between the two of you. Underneath the Ace of Swords is the King of Swords as well. So it's a very truthful, honest conversation. Even underneath the King of Swords is the Nine of Swords and the Six of Swords. This is speaking the truth about the anxiety or the overthinking that someone, or maybe, I think the Aries here, I have to say the Aries was experiencing about moving forward and potentially leaving the past in the past with that Six of Swords. Even though they feel like it, the Aries are saying that they want to do that and they feel like it's possible, but in some way they kind of got in their own way before about then actually following through. So I think there's going to be a conversation here. There might be a slight apology, but it's more just a, let me just explain where I was coming from. But there's progress. I mean, the Six of Wands and the Chariot both talk about success and victory and kind of very positive momentum. And also there's a strong energy here, like someone getting out of their own way. So that's what I've got for you this time, Aries. I do hope it was useful for someone out there. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please do hit the thumbs up button for me if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, and if it resonated for you at all, leave me a comment and let me know. I wish you all my very best. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.